that to wipe off or to pass off that the place where excrement is, right? So you use the bathroom, it's impure, the impurity is coming out of your bowels. To wipe that excrement off, to clean that area, that is what al-istinja means, right? Whether it's through toilet paper or whether it's through water or rose water, etc., things that are permissible to use. And obviously, according to the fuqaha, the scholars, it's just to remove the filth with water or stones, or back in the old days they used stones, or and according to today's time, toilet paper, etc. So that's istinja. We all know, we're familiar with that. So it's going to talk about the different types of istinja and what it is. Is it sunnah? Is it fard? Is it wajib? And the sunnah of istinja. So first of all, I mentioned that istinja is synonymous with another word, istibra and istinqa. Right? So we're going to talk about al-istibra first. What does al-istibra mean? So حكم الاستبراء يلزم الرجل الاستبراء حتى يزول أثر البول. So istibra is that you make sure and you're confident that the impurity has left from your body. So you're using the bathroom, right? You're going for number one, and you're using the bathroom, and you're sure that the athar of your urine is gone, that there are no droplets left, there's no leakage left, right? So istibra means that to make sure that you are free from that, you are free from impurity, you are free from those those droplets of impurity. وَيَطْمَئِنَّ قَلْبُهُ عَلَى حَسَبِ عَادَتِهِ. And it's through your and to really what's it called, to really know what istibra means, or to really fulfill istibra, you will do something that you do on natural days, right? So walking, for example, إِمَّا بِالْمَشِي أَوْ تَنَحْنُحِ وَالْإِسْتِجَاعِ أَوْ غَيْرِهِ. So through walking, you can make sure that every droplet is gone of urine, right? So for example, a lot of people, they might use the bathroom and they might just walk around in the stall a little bit, just make sure everything is gone. Especially if you're a person that has waswasa, if you're always in doubt, if you're not sure, then you might want to use some toilet paper and maybe walk around in the stall to make sure everything is gone, that you don't have not even a single droplet of najasa, of impurity. Or you might want to cough and it'll come out, like whatever droplets are left, they'll come out. Or you might turn to one side, you might lean over to one side. So if you're in the these traditional toilets that we have, that it might not come out properly, but back in the old days they used to squat down and use the bathroom, right? And even myself, when I was studying in South Africa, we used the toilets on the floor, right? And for like last 8 years, for 8 years straight. And when you're squatting down on the toilet, it's actually easier if you go to the left or the right side, and you lean towards you lean towards either side, and then your stuff comes out properly. The excrement, the stool comes out in a more easier way, because when you're squatting down, it's a more easier basically the exit place is more easier for all the excrement to come out, rather than compared to when you're sitting on the toilet. When you're sitting like this, and and your legs are just hanging from there, it's not coming out in the most best way. So it cleans you out even more when you're squatting down. When you have the ground toilets, which we don't have obviously over here. But so what iftija will be applied to that. So when you're squatting down, you have the ability to lean on either side or this side for every single drop of impurity to come out. Okay. ولا يجوز له الشروع في الوضوء حتى يطمئن بزوال رشح البول. And you can't start your wudu until you're certain, you're completely confident that every single droplet of impurity is gone. Right? So that's al-istibra, to make sure and to be confident that everything is gone, that not even one drop is left. That's al-istibra. And it's similar to al-istinja in the way that you're making sure that you're free from all those things, that you're free from that impurity, right? Istibra, the root word is bari'a yabara, which means to be free from something. That bari'u minan nar, that I'm free from the hellfire. Or even in Urdu you say bari ho gaya, that he's free from that, from that thing, huh? Yeah, farid ho gaya, bari ho gaya. So like he's free from that responsibility, etc. So to be free from any small type of impurity or any type of impurity. Then we go into istinja. So then the author says that wal istinja'u sunnatun min najasin yakhruju min as-sabilayn ma lam yatajawaz al-makhraj. So istinja is sunnah, right? Sunnah muakkada. It's a very important sunnah in our life that we perform istinja when we are using the toilet. Min najasin yakhruju min as-sabilayn. And it's sunnah to take care of that, like I mentioned earlier, that istinja literally means to wipe away that impurity. So to wipe away that impurity when it's coming out of either passage, whether it's the front passage or the back passage, to wipe off that impurity. ما لم يتجاوز المخرج, as long as it doesn't exceed that exit place, meaning as long as the najasa doesn't exceed where it's coming out from. So for example, if you're using the bathroom and it comes out smoothly, we're saying, right? It comes out smoothly, then it's sunnah to make istinja, whether that's with toilet paper or whether that's with water, right? We're still getting to that part. And so as long as it doesn't exceed that exit place, then istinja is sunnah. When tajawaz, and if it does exceed that exit place, whether if you're having a bad day, you eat the wrong food, it might spread out of that exit place. وَكَانَ قَدْرَ الدِّرْهَمْ, and it's as big as a dirham, and dirham would be equivalent to maybe like a coin, or like the middle of our palm, right? So like a big coin would be like about this much, like your palms, the diameter of your palm. وَكَانَ قَدْرَ الدِّرْهَمْ, and it exceeds as much as a dirham would, so something of this diameter. وَجَبَ إِزَالَتُهُ بِالْمَاءِ, then istinja becomes wajib upon you to get rid of with water. So in the first instance, that if you had if you use the bathroom smoothly and nothing happened, you can use toilet paper and walk away. It's fine as long as there's no najasa, that nothing happened, nothing splurted out, nothing got that nothing spread somewhere else. Then you could get away with just making use toilet paper, and then you can get out. But if it spreads to more than the diameter of a dirham, or in this case our palms, then it'll be wajib, it'll be necessary for you to make istinja with water. وَإِنْ زَادَ عَلَىٰ قَدْرِ الدِّرْهَمْ, and if it goes more than that, more than a dirham's diameter, then ufturida, then it will be obligatory, that you can't walk out of there without only relying on toilet paper. You have to use water and make sure all the najasa is gone. So things like this, we already know that stuff. I know we don't want to walk out the toilet in an unclean and impure state, right? So it's sunnah when when it comes out nicely and and it doesn't spread anywhere. If it starts spreading according to equal to 1 dirham, then it becomes wajib, and it's fard upon you to use water and make istinja when it spreads even more. ما يفترض عند الاغتسال. Now it talks about the different types of when ghusl will be wajib upon someone. ويفترض غسل ما في المخرج عند الاغتسال من الجنابة والحيض والنفاس وإن كان ما في المخرج قليلا. So ghusl will be wajib upon every single individual when they have when they have a post-intercourse discharge, right? When they have intercourse and then they're in the state of a janaba, they're a junubi. Well, hayd, and when after the menstrual cycle or the period, or when nifas, after the postnatal bleeding, after a woman gives birth, that bleeding, after all those circumstances, ghusl will be wajib. When kana ma fil makhraj qalilan, even if it's a little bit that comes out, even if it's a little blood, even if it's a little a little fluid that comes out after your intercourse, etc. So then even if it's a little bit, you have to make ghusl, because ghusl gets away all that impurity, and then you'll be fulfilling the fard of ghusl, even if it's a little bit or if it's a lot, right? And now going back to istinja, the reason why the author he brought that in the middle is because it deals with impurities, that cleaning the impurities from because earlier we were talking about only impurity when we use the bathroom. So then the author brings in this as well, that if you have intercourse, if you have menstruation, if you go through postnatal bleeding, then ghusl will also be wajib, and you will also have to clean the areas where it comes out from, the exit areas, right? And then it talks about the different the ways of istinja, meaning the sunan of istinja, which means that what you should do istinja with, right? So we talked about earlier that if it's something that's small, that that you could get away with by only using toilet paper and you don't have to use water, then that's fine. But if it exceeds to more than a dirham, or equal to a dirham, or more than a dirham, or the palm of your hand, then you're going to have to use. It's going to be obligatory upon you to use water and get rid of that najasa, that impurity. So the author is saying that وَيُسَنُّ أَن يَسْتَنْجِيَ بِحَجَرٍ مُنْقٍ وَنَحْوِهِ, that if you want to you do istinja, if you want to perform istinja, it's sunnah to make istinja with a clean hajar, like a stone, or a pebble, or some kind of clot of dirt. And that's back in the old days, that they used to use that when they used to go out somewhere else in the field, and they would use whatever they would find around them and use that, as long as it's clean, right? And it can't be sharp, it can't be a piece of glass or a sharp rock, it can't be a piece of charcoal, not or like a piece of brick, something that has a clean surface, a smooth surface, something that you can actually use to clean your impurity without getting hurt, right? And equivalent to today's time, it'll be toilet paper. And for example, if you're in the toilet and you run out of toilet paper, if it's a towel, something that's soft, that's something that won't hurt you, something that won't put you into pain, or some type of paper that won't hurt you. If you use paper, then you might get paper cuts as well. So that probably won't be permissible as well. But something that won't hurt you, in any way, something that will be soft, that can get away that najasa, right? So we're not gonna be following this, finding a rock outside and bring that to the toilet, and we have like a whole bowl of rocks in the toilet. We're not gonna use that. But toilet paper or anything that has that's something that's easy to use and not too much value. You won't use some silk cloth or something, some nice kurta or something to use to make istinja with if you don't have anything, right? You'll just rely on water because the water is pretty accessible. Alhamdulillah. So to use a clean rock, or in our case, a clean piece of toilet paper or something that that you can use to get rid of the najasa. وَالْغَسْلُ بِالْمَاءِ أَحَبُّ. And to wash with water, to make istinja with water, is more preferred. It's more superior, as long as that as long as it's not too. For example, like how we mentioned that if it exceeds more than a dirham or a palm of a hand, then you have to use water. It's wajib to use water. So if it's still a little bit and it comes out smoothly, or whatever, the excrement or the stool comes out smoothly, then to use water in that instance, and you don't have to use water, you could suffice on toilet paper. But if you use water in that sense, then it'll be ahab, it'll be more superior, more beloved, more preferred, right? But obviously, if it exceeds that dirham's amount, then you have to use water. There's no going back. You can't suffice on toilet paper at that moment. Then وَالْأَفْضَلُ الْجَمْعُ بَيْنَ الْمَاءِ وَالْحَجَرِ فَيَمْسَحُ ثُمَّ يَغْسِلُ. And the most, the best scenario, or the most, preferred is, the most virtuous is الْجَمْعُ بَيْنَ الْمَاءِ وَالْحَجَرِ. To use both, that you use toilet paper and you use water, right? فَيَمْسَحُ ثُمَّ يَغْسِلُ. That you try to get rid of the najasa with toilet paper, and then you wash out with water. وَيَجُوزُ أَن يَقْتَصِرَ عَلَى الْمَاءِ أَوْ الْحَجَرِ. But it's also permissible to just suffice on either toilet paper or water, right? But as long as it's a little amount. But if it's something that exceeds, that we talked about already, then you'll have to use water, right? But if it's not, then for example, if you go to the toilet or if you go to the bathroom and you go for number one, then in that instance you can use toilet paper and walk out, as long as there's no najasa, as long as you feel and confident in yourself that okay, there's no more any droplets of urine coming out, then I'm fine. Then you can walk out with using toilet paper. You don't have to use water or waste water if you think like that. But if you're not sure at all, then it's better to use water and just to feel more confident in your salah, or like whatever you're gonna be doing after that. Your wudu, your salah, because that's the main thing. If you leave the toilet with najasa, then you make wudu, it's not gonna really count because you're still in the state of impurity. And then when you come for salah, you're not gonna feel good either. That what happened in the bathroom, I'm not sure if I cleaned myself properly or this happened. So you'll always be wondering, and you'll shaitan will always come back to you and say are you sure you made it properly, or make wudu again, or give you doubtful thoughts in your brain basically. And last but not least, the author mentioned that وَالسُنَّةُ إِنْقَاءُ الْمَحَلِ. That the bottom line, the sunnah is just to clean that area basically. So as long as it's clean, then you should be fine, right? As long as that area, min as-sabilayn, either through the front or the back passage, whatever impurities come out, to clean that is sunnah. That's the bottom line. That according to all the aimma, whether it's not, I know we're doing Hanafi fiqh, but whether it's Shafi'i fiqh, whether it's Hanbali fiqh, that's the main thing. That is sunnah, to clean that area, right? Without that, you can't really perform wudu and then carry on with your day with salah and reading Quran, etc. Right? There's one hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that I want to mention, that he was talking about the people, the Ansar, and they were in the Masjid Quba at that time, and the Ansar, they would clean themselves. They would perform istinja, and they would clean themselves properly. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He revealed a verse in the Quran that says that فِيهِ رِجَالٌ يُحِبُّونَ أَيَتَطَهَّرُوا. That in Masjid Quba there are people that purify themselves, right? وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُطَّهِّرِينَ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likes those people that purify themselves. So this ayah was revealed for these people, and the Prophet ﷺ came to these people later on and said, Ya ma'ashar al-ansar, that, O people of Ansar, inna Allah qad athna alaykum fit tuhur. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has praised you for purifying yourselves. Fama tuhurukum, like what do you guys do? What's so special about you guys that you guys get praised for being pure? And then they said that natawaddau lis-salah, we make wudu for salah. وَنَغْتَصِلُ مِنَ الْجَنَابَةِ, and we make ghusl when we're in a state of impurity. وَنَسْتَنْجِي بِالْمَاءِ, and we also make istinja with water. And then the Prophet ﷺ says, هُوَ فَعَلَيْكُمُ. He said, that's great, that's excellent, and you stay on that path. Stay, keep making those istinja, keep making, ghusl when you from janaba, etc. So these people were praised for making istinja, for being pure all the time, So it's, it's incumbent upon us to always, feel that same way, that in every state that we should be pure. Even if you don't have wudu, go make wudu, just to be in a pure state, And plus, we never know when we're gonna pass away, right? At any moment our life can go. So obviously we want to be in a state of purity, whether we're in janaba, whether we're without wudu. Go and make wudu, go and make ghusl. Just stay in the pure, in the state of purity, inshallah. So we'll stop it at that for today, inshallah. And we'll continue on istinja, and then we'll go on to wudu later, etc. And then as we go, we're gonna go to different chapters, inshallah. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to always stay pure. Our physical appearance, our physical, get rid of our physical impurities, and also our spiritual impurities, our the impurities that are inside of our hearts, inside of our minds, inside of our tongues, to get rid of those as well, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all the ability to practice upon what the Prophet ﷺ said in the Quran, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us all on the straight path, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum.